Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm making a card that combines some of our current suite, the Snowflake Wishes, with some existing product that we've already got. So the Snowflake Splendor suite has some gorgeous paper and stamp set and dies, and I'm just using the paper and a little bit from the stamp set along with another one. So these are the papers, which are 12 by 12 papers, and as you can see they've got beautiful snowflake kind of watercolour effect, lovely variations in cool blue tones of pool party, misty moonlight through to Pacific pointers as well, and then a little bit of Highland heather too. So lovely papers that really I just want to show coordinate with lots of other products that we've got. So the Snowflake Wishes stamp set, beautiful snowflakes. Some of these are really big ones, great for statement pieces, along with some smaller accent ones, and it's one of these I'm going to use today, along with our Lots to Celebrate, which, if you've got the jar punch, which I'm going to use today, is a great product because it's got all of the sentiments that fit within that jar image, along with lots of other ones as well. So a really great stamp set to use, and we're going to create this card here using our little mason jar shaker domes. So as you can see, a really sort of lovely, and I've used a mixture of retired and existing sequins. So I've used the Snowflake sequins, which we've got with, I think it was actually some fancy frost, but I've got metallics as well. Just a way to kind of use those up, and you'll see just to create a lovely sort of image. And you can see here I've just paper pieced, so you've got, you use both sides of the paper. So that's our card. You're going to need your jar punch as well, and obviously a dome to go with it. So let's grab our dome first of all. Okay, so make sure you've just got a single one. Do tend to stick together, and they come in a box of 10 those, so really useful little lot. Okay, so to create our card base, you're going to need half a sheet of A4 for the card base, and I'm going to use some pool party for this one. So I'm just going to cut it in half at 10.5 centimetres all the way down. I'm then going to trim that using my extender bar down to 29 centimetres. And then score again at 14.5 centimetres. And then what we're going to do is cut at 1.5 centimetres down to that score line. Flip it around, and I'm going to line it up at 1.5 again, and just cut from the bottom up, which you probably can't see. There we go. So you end up with 2 cuts on there. Okay. So that's our card base, which we'll cut in the middle. You're going to need a piece of Whisper White for the inside, which you're going to want to cut at 10 centimetres by just under 14.5. And I say just under because of the fold at the top of the card, you just want it slightly shorter than that. Then you're going to want some DSP, and again this is going to be 14.5 centimetres, and this is going to be by 7 centimetres. Okay, so on the one side we've got this lovely watercolour image, so you could always stamp over that, but I'm going to use the front of that for my main image. So once you've done that, you're going to take your DSP and line that up in the middle of your jar punch. Make sure it's nice and square, and just punch out the jar like so. And keep our little jar that we've got there. The next thing we're going to do is just trim away on that score line as well. Okay, if you ever get any sort of raggedy bits on this, just use a nail sanding block just to tidy those up a little bit. Keep them, get rid of any slight furriness. And obviously then change your blade. You'll just sometimes notice it'll suddenly go from working when you'll kind of go, right, time to change that blade. So as I say, just trim it, sand it down, you're fine. So there's our card base. Here's our layer. So now what I'm going to do is grab my piece of Whisper White for the inside and decide what colour you're going to stamp it. Now, obviously, this is all sort of pool party, so I'm actually going to carry on as I did with the other one with my pool party. So I'm going to grab my ink and just stamp down the edge there. And that's what you're going to see on the edge of your card. And that's why I like just trimming the front of this, just creates a little bit of fun and interest. Okay. Now also, because this is the very plain sort of watercoloured one, I'm just going to do the same on this as well. So just over stamp on that DSP. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grab my scrap of Whisper White card, and again, you can choose whatever you want. Now I'm going to actually mix this up a little bit and grab my Highland Heather now to add onto this bit. And at least I would if I could find my chamois to clean my... Okay. Can't find that at the moment. Oh well, okay, so in emergency, just stamp off. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp all over this piece. I'm then going to come in and I'm actually going to use, still going to use my Misty Moonlight to stamp the sentiment on there. Because it's a really good, it's a nice strong colour, and it'll just stand up really well against the Highland Heather. So I'll come in from the side. I've done a really rubbish job on that one. Right, okay, so repeat. In fact, I'm going to wait and do my stamping of that and for another moment, and I'll tell you the reason why. That's because what I'm going to do is make sure I get it nice and straight, and it's easier to stamp the sentiment on afterwards than it is trying to cut and trim. And now again, you could obviously punch a circle first if you wanted to, if you didn't want to waste your cardstock. Easy enough to do. I pop my ink pads away, because you know me, I shall get into all sorts of trouble. Take your 2-inch punch or an equivalent circle and just punch out your Whisper White stamped card. Grab your 2 1/4-inch punch and a piece of contrasting card. So obviously you could use whatever colour you wanted. I'm going to use the pool party again here and just come in with that. And I'm just going to layer this straight onto my piece of card. I'm just using up the last of my snail. Obviously you've got Stampin' Seal now, which is absolutely fabulous. So pop that on in the centre, and then what you need to do next is just add that onto your trimmer and just slice it off. And I've literally probably at about 1/4 inch, something like that. And as I said, that then makes it easier to stamp straight. I struggle with stamping straight, but hey, let's give it a go. So I'm going to grab my sentiment stamp and my Misty Moonlight, and we'll try again. So, Season's Greetings, pop that in the middle there. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so now we're on to the construction. So a couple of things to notice here. What I suggest you do is you pop your DSP where it's going to be and grab either a pencil or an erasable pen and just mark 4 little marks to show where your jar is going to fit. Then we can add our jar, and if you remember, we're actually going to add it on that where it's on the stamped image, so just line that up like so. Now here we go. We're then going to add a little mason jar. I find it easiest, and it varies very much, so you'll just check that you're lining up okay, and I still am. I'm actually going to add it to my DSP first. So I'm going to take this layer off the top here. So these have got tape on each side. So peel off the top layer and add that to the right side of your DSP. Right, the side that's going, there you go. So there we go. So there's my my layer. Phew, that was close. Right, open up your card, and you need this as flat as possible. And then just add in your various sequins. So I'm going to add, those are a little bit dark, those metallic ones. So I'm going to add some of these retired ones, which are really nice. They're sort of in the lovely kind of iridescent pinks and pool parties. So they're quite nice and big. Add a few more in there. And you want to really kind of mound those up in the middle. I'm then going to add my snowflakes. Again, really pop those right up into the middle. And then I'm going to peel off my layer. I'm then going to add some Tombow to the outer edge, just so that when that goes down, and what you're going to then do is add that to the top of your of the card. So pop that on, line it up, and as I say, having the liquid glue just enables you to have a little bit of wiggle room because that adhesive bit sticks really well. Okay, and if you've got any little bits, little tip, just have a little bit of spare bit of card, and this is something I do. If you ever use Tombow and you get a little bit stuck on the outside, just run a piece of card down, and that will just take away a lot of that excess, like so. Okay, if you have any overlap, come in and trim it. But here's our card, you can see, lovely little shaker. This goes on with a couple of dimensionals. So all I'm going to do is grab my pack of dimensionals, and I kind of want one at the bottom, and you know me, so one in either corner and one in the middle, but obviously in a circle I find 3 works really well. Occasionally you'll need an extra one in the middle, but because we've cut that bit off, so add our little bit. I possibly haven't done that quite as central as I might have liked, but there we go. And then we can add, if I could find it, my stamped layer. There we go. So just pop some snail or seal down the outer edge of this, and then this panel can just go in the centre at the back there. As I said, by just keeping a couple of millimetres, probably less than 1/8 of an inch. And there we have a pair of pretty shaker cards using the lovely jar punch and a couple of other stamp sets. So, a bit more Snowflake Splendor. Which one do you prefer? I think I prefer this one with this darker panel. On the other hand, I love this one because I think it's really subtle and really pretty. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen today, pop along to my blog. You'll find the links on there at Flutter by Heidi, or go straight to my Stampin' Up shop, which is heidismith.stampinup.net, and please subscribe. I'm only a few subscribers away from my next 1,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate it, and once I hit that, who knows, I might do a little bit of a giveaway. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.